Good evening, witchy bitchies. My name is Jess, I put the J in JT Reads, and welcome to the video. I hold in my hand a very important piece of paper. So today we're going through my TBR Game for February and the books that I will have to read if I want to pass. Let's see how the game went. Okay, now we know why I'm holding this piece of paper in my hand, and that's because I landed on TBR Jar. And what my TBR Jar is all of my books that I have owned for a very long time but have never read are written on a piece of paper like this and placed inside the jar. And if I land on the TBR Jar tile, try saying that quickly, I have to pick a name out of the hat and read that book. Now, I will say I'm going to do this challenge in tandem with another challenge which I have seen Emily Fox do from Books with Emily Fox on YouTube, and that is the Read It or Unhaul It challenge. I'm going to adopt that into my TBR Jar challenge. So what that means is, in February, I'm going to read, or try to read, Americana. Let me get the book for you. Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And this is not a small book. I am intimidated by this. So what my plan is, oh my god, the font is so small. So Emily's challenge is read it or unhaul it. And what that means is I will read the first, I'm going to say, depending on chapter length, I'm going to say the first 2 or 3 chapters, maybe the first 10% of the book. And if I am not vibing with it, I will stop reading, DNF it, and unhaul it. Donate it to charity, take it off my shelf. That is my plan with TBR Jar, because otherwise I just don't think I'm ever going to get through all these books. And there are so many books on that shelf. This jar is full. It's the same size as my head. Oh shit! We've had an avalanche! It's almost the same size as my head. And there are a lot of books in there that I don't particularly want to read, or just they're books that I obviously wanted to read at some point, but just for whatever reason, I'm not really feeling like reading at the moment. and the moment has lasted for several years. Okay, let's dive into the prompts. So first up, my prompt was a yellow cover. And there are a few that I was contemplating. So I thought about reading Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, or Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, or Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. But ultimately, because I went to the library in January and picked up 4 books, I've got this to read. So here we go, we need to angle it so you can see. So we've got Trigger Warning by Neil Gaiman, and that, if you could not already tell, is a yellow cover. So I need to read it anyway because it's a library book, so it needs to go back soon, and it ties in with the prompt. It's average length, that's what she said. It's about 300 pages long. Font is okay sized. I feel pretty good about that. Now there is a theme with these books that I've picked, in that a lot of them seem to be library books, which, as TBR Game suggests, I'm supposed to be reading the books from my TBR shelves. But also I need to support my local library, so everyone's a winner except my TBR shelf. She grows and grows. Let's move on. Next up, the prompt was, the best, a book inspired by mythology. A pretty easy one for me to do, and the contenders were Herc by Phoenicia Rogerson, Divine Might or Stoneblind by Natalie Haynes, I need to read both of those, or Medusa by Rosie Hewlett. Now Medusa by Rosie Hewlett, as you can probably tell, is also a library book. It's a library book. And it's also less than 200 pages long, so I've got quite a few prompts this month and I needed something that was quite short. So I picked this. I've already started reading it too, even though we're on the 31st of January. I make the rules. Oh, I sounded just like Veruca Salt then. That's embarrassing. Next up, my prompt is an award-winning book. And as always, I'm a little cheater because, as I just said, I make up the rules. Now, I looked at my shelves and I could not find any that I knew were award-winning books, and I'm lazy. Above all, I am lazy. Now, I know T. Kingfisher has won awards, mainly because on the cover of the book that I'm holding, it says Hugo and Nebula award-winning author. Has this book won an award? Well, I don't know. That's not for me to worry about. So I'm going to read A House with Good Bones by Ting Kingfisher. Perfect. T. Kingfisher. And again, this is the theme. This is a library book. Is this the last one? I can confirm this is the last library book on this list because, my god, I do need to get through them, but I also wanted to have a stab at my TBR shelves, but we move. So I will be reading A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher for that prompt. My next prompt was translated from a different language, and that one is relatively easy. So I've recently read quite a lot of my translated horror books, so I left myself with quite an obvious choice. And that was Before Your Memory Fades by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, and this is the third in the series, the Before Your Coffee Gets Cold series. Before the Coffee Gets Cold? Cold. Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Not yours, the. Despite the fact it looks quite long, it's not that long, it's just because it's a hardback. It is Berwedd. It's less than 250 pages long, so again, I was kind of looking for something short to fulfill the prompt because I've got quite a lot of books on this list, and none of which appear to be audiobooks yet, so... Last and least, my prompt was an author or title beginning with J. Now, when I tell you, I struggled so hard finding something. I'm looking at my shelves right now, my TBR shelf, so not my TBR jar, and I have now got Out There Screaming, which was edited by Jordan Peele. I didn't own that at the time of playing the game, so I had already picked this, but that would have been quite a good one to pick. But equally, I don't want to rush through it because I think I'm going to really enjoy it. In the exact same vein, I've now got Night Side of the River by Jeanette Winterson. Again, that would have been a very good one to pick because it's J, but I didn't own it at the time of doing the game, and also I'm going to really enjoy it, so I don't rush it. And I feel like I'm going to have to read quite quickly this month to get through these books. Basically, the reason why I'm telling you all of this is because I don't wish to support this author, and I won't show it on the screen because I don't wish to. And I'm going to read The Tales of Beedle the Bard because it is extremely short, and then I will probably unhaul it or burn it. The author's name begins with J, so it fulfills the prompt. I don't feel great about it. We don't associate ourselves with transphobes. But it's on my shelf, so I'm going to read it because it was a gift a long time ago, and then I'm going to get rid of it. And yeah. And that's all I'll say on the subject. So these are the books I have to read this month. I think it's going to be a busy month, but I'm hopeful. As I said, I've already started reading Americana, so chunky. I've already started reading Medusa. And yeah, this is doable. My arm, she trembles. Anyway, let me place this. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I look forward to seeing how this month goes, whether I achieve. I can't remember how much money I had to spend on books this month, but I feel like I've spent it already. I feel like it might have been 13. You will have just seen the gameplay, so you will know. You tell me, how much do I have to spend? I've probably already spent it. I think I had 18 to spend from completing the December TBR challenge, and I believe that was how much Emily Wilde's sequel cost. So I did spend that. When I do my March TBR game, maybe I'll do a little wrap up of what I've spent so far, because I have been keeping a track of it. I just cannot quite remember right now off the top of my noggin what that was, and also just can't be bothered to go and get my laptop. So as I said, lazy. But thank you so much for being here, for not being lazy, and for liking this video, for subscribing to this channel if you haven't already, for sending me loves and hugs and kisses in the comments below. So if you haven't already done that, please do that. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you in a video soon. Bye!